Oi,
It's been a cool minute, but I'm back. It's been a cool minute, but I'm back. Back. This video, as you can see by the title, is my labour story and how I nearly had my baby in the taxi. I so could have had my baby in the taxi. Like, for real, I really could have. Guys, subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave comments, tell me what I should do, follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all the social medias are left down below. I'm just going to go straight into the video. I'm just going to give you the tea and tell you the story and all of that jazz. Okay? We're going to start like this. So my daughter was born on the 12th of September at 10:44. So, where should we start? We'll start from, so that was a Wednesday morning. So we'll start from, that 2018 by the way guys, so my daughter is nearly about to be 8 months. So yeah, we'll start from the Monday, because Monday night, I'm sure it was Monday night, that I had back labour. Monday night, I was having pains here. So in the lower back, in the lower parts of my back, on either side of my back, there was pains that were coming consistently every like 5 minutes or every like 7 minutes. And I was thinking, okay, I get you can get back pain, but why is it coming in a sequence as if it's labour? And I was really confused, so I was googling it, and then people were saying that you can have back labour where you feel the pain in your lower back and it's in a consistent pattern like you would feel the pain and contractions in your stomach. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm having back labour because they're coming every 7 minutes. They seem to be quite frequent. Got on the phone to the maternity ward, Serenity Suite, lovely place to give birth to your child if you live in Birmingham, by the way. So I spoke to them and they were just saying, you know, it's probably just a bit of back pain. Just get in the bath or see how you get on, you know, the usual. That's what they do. Like, every time someone would tell me their story, they say how when you get through to the people or you tell them that your water's broke or something, it's just like, get in the bath, take it slow, do this, do that. They're not really here for it unless you're screaming down the phone. They're not here for it. So, cool, you're not here for it. But for me, I'm not an overreactor and I deal with pain very well. So when I'm having this back labour, I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, she's about to come. I'm just thinking, okay, what's this and why is it coming consistently? So when they told me that on the phone, I'm just like, whatever, I'm not even going to get in the bath. Like, I'm just going to go about my night. So I went to sleep, woke up, all day Tuesday. I don't believe I had any contractions. Not from what I remember. I didn't have any contractions or really pain. I probably had pressure, which is what I was getting towards the end of the day. It's like pressure in my pelvis and pressure on my lower stomach and just casual back pain because obviously I'm carrying a baby and I'm small. I'm quite small, 5'2", and I think when I was carrying I probably weighed about 8.5, 9 stone, so I was still small, you know. I was fitting into like 6'8" still. So yeah, kind of ridiculous. I'll insert some pictures at a talk of me when I was pregnant and a couple of days before. Like, I have a picture where I didn't know she was coming, but I took one like 2 days before, and then I have a picture like a week before that's on Instagram, and I'll just pop them in. Tuesday day I don't feel like I felt anything, but I know that Tuesday night is when I felt like I was having contractions. So, oh sorry, as I was going to bed, I'm gonna say around 11 or midnight, I started to get contractions, and they were like 7 minutes apart. They weren't, you know, nothing big deal, but I was like, these feel like contractions. Not that I knew what they felt like because I've never had a baby, but you just kind of know. I don't know. How I kind of knew is because they were coming consistently. Like, if I have pain and it's not coming consistently, like it's not coming every 5 minutes or around every 5 minutes on the dot, then it's not contractions, it's just pain. But if it's coming every 7 minutes and it's coming every 7 minutes, stopping, coming every 7 minutes, like for five times consistently or 6 times consistently, I'm thinking, okay, that's contractions, like. But they were bearable, so I was able to like go to sleep, but I was waking up in the middle of the night. I was probably woken up out of my sleep here and there with contraction pain, but it wasn't anything serious. Then I feel like it was probably around 6 AM, I want to say, that I actually woke up, and then that's when I was awake. Like, I was having contractions and I wasn't going back to sleep, and it looks as if I was having contractions that lasted about a minute or so, and they were coming first. Well, first it looks a bit all over the place until around 8:30, where it seemed to be a bit consistent for a little while, where it was coming every 3 to 4 minutes. that I text my mum at 7:30 saying I think I'm having contractions, and I know that I didn't text her straight away, so that means I was up earlier than 7:30. And I remember Jaheim was getting ready for work and he leaves 7:30 or before 7:30, and I remember that I was having contractions as he was getting ready, and he had no idea because one, Jaheim is not aware of his surroundings, and two, I wasn't making a big deal out of it. Like, I'm not that type of person. As I said, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. So that's one thing you should know about me. Like, when I'm in pain or when I'm ill, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. And if I am talking about it, that means because I really am ill or I really do feel sick. So yeah, I was in the bed kind of dealing with my contractions with my eyes closed, you know, breathing. I was in labour. I was in labour, guys. He was in this room. This room's not very big, you know. He was in this room getting ready, and he didn't know at all that I was in labour. I was doing my breathing, nothing. He just kind of got ready and went, and I let him to go because I was like, yeah, I'm in labour. Yeah, these are contractions. I'm pretty sure they are, which they were. But obviously, I could be in labour for hours, so he might as well just go to work, you know. So yeah, he left. Pretty sure he leaves 7:15 or 7:30. But I texted my mum at 7:30 saying I think I'm having contractions. My mum was just like, you okay with your breathing exercises? Keep me posted. Sent me her work landline and then asked me if Jane's still here. And I believe at that point she called me because I didn't respond. So she was on her way to work at that point. I think the only person in the house was my niece because she was stopping the night and her school's just up the road. So I think my mum must have like told my niece to like make me a glass of water or just make sure she's okay, and then my mum actually began to make her way back. I believe that she got halfway to work and then told work that I was having contractions and that like I was home alone. So I think they kind of just sent her back. Wish I knew the times. Back to my contractions now that I'm looking at. I can see that there was a point where my contractions were coming every minute, and they were lasting like a minute. And I remember this is when I just got out of the bath. So basically my mum come back, we called the maternity people again, the ward that I'm going to give birth. They were like, you know, get in the bath, take it easy, wait till you get some bearable, all that jazz. What we've done, I've taken a bath. I think I had half a slice of toast and a bit of water. I think that was after I came out of the bath as well. Yeah, so I think I got in my bath, I was in a warm bath for a bit. I wouldn't even say that I was in the bath 15 minutes. Like, I want to say I was in the bath probably 10 minutes. And that's when my contractions started. So whatever the bath does to you, it does something. So when I got out of the bath, that's when I was like, yeah, like, it's time to go. Because this is when I started to need a poo. So I've come out of the bath. My mum's made me toast. I've had half a piece of toast, a bit of water. Bear in mind, this is the morning, so I've had no breakfast, nothing. Haven't ate anything, and I'm about to go to the hospital and give birth. I got out of the bath. Had that's when I felt like I started to need a poo, and I was like, I need a poo. Now at first I wasn't thinking, oh, that's the sign to push, and I know people say that when you need a poo it's a sign to push, but I just thought like I really needed a poo. So I went into the bathroom and I tried to do a poo and nothing was coming, and that's when I was like, yeah, okay, she's coming, like that's her head, like I don't need a poo, that is Vienna's head, and I need to give birth now because I feel it, like I can feel it. After that I'm just like putting on my clothes and stuff. I'm still counting my contractions. So I want to say that, okay, basically let me just put it out here like this. 9:07 is the last contraction that I recorded on this app, and I know that I was probably just about recording contractions in the taxi because that's when I was in labour. So that was probably when I was in the taxi or still in the house. So let's say it was about 9:15 now, or yeah, about probably 9:15 or 9 o'clock when I've come out of the bath. So 9:15, around 9 o'clock, I've come out of the bath, had that little degger piece of toast in the water, putting on my clothes, feel like I need a poo, can't poo because that's Vienna's head, there's no poo, it's Vienna's head, she's coming. And then I'm just like, Mom, I need to go, like, I need to go. She's like, go where? I'm like, go to the hospital. Every time I tell this story, it makes me laugh because I'm thinking, I've said to my mom, I need to go. And she's asked me, go where? What do you mean, go where? I need to go to give birth because she's coming now, like, she's coming. So yeah, this is when the contractions are coming, like, every minute. I'm stopping, I'm like, oh, like, this feels like, oh, excruciating. One thing I will say though, I feel like the contractions until I got to pushing we're paying for. But when you're pushing, it's not like a pain, it's more like it hurts to push because you feel like you're tearing, you know, TMI. Contractions come, it's not a pain in your stomach, it's just that an urge, it's an urge to push. That's how I felt anyway. By this time, Jane hasn't got back. My mum's already told him, you know, she's in labour, I've come back to the house, like, you need to come back to work. He had already made it to work, which means, yeah, it's got to be after 8. Then Jane's on his way back, we're here, so we've called a taxi because I hadn't passed my test by then, but even if I had, why would I be driving to the hospital with contractions? My mum doesn't drive, so, you know, Jane's not here, so we had to call the taxi. Call the taxi, waiting for the taxi, probably waiting for the taxi about 10 minutes. So from my contractions and what I can see of the time frame, I'm going to say that we got in the taxi about between 9 and 9:30. I felt like it took forever for the taxi to come. Like, why is the taxi taking so long? The taxi rank is round the corner from my house, and that taxi never takes long, but I feel like it just took forever. Taxi's come now, we've got in a taxi. Now, the journey from my house to the hospital is literally 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. The journey felt so long. The taxi man was probably like, damn, this girl's about to give birth in my taxi, because listen, okay, you'll understand why I could have nearly had Vienna in the taxi when I tell you how far gone I was when I got to the hospital and found out. So bear in mind, 5 to 7 minute drive, it's down the road. So I'm in the taxi now, I really feel like I need to push. This is when I actually feel like I need to push. Like when the contractions are coming, I'm just like, ooh, like trying to breathe through it, but I feel like I need to push. Like, I want to push this baby out here in this taxi. I want to push the baby out here now. Like now, I feel like City Road was just one of them roads. If you're from Birmingham, you're from this side of Birmingham, you know that it's one of those roads that, you know, sometimes it's moving slow. It's a very narrow road, so when the buses are coming down, which is 2 different buses that go down that road, if the bus stops, you're stopping behind it, you're not really getting around that bus, you're gonna have to wait, and there's bus stops every friggin' 15 feet. Basically, I could have had my baby in the taxi, but anyway, I'm sure the taxi man was like, this reminds me of when like my wife was in labour. He was saying that like as he was driving us. I bet he was not prepared. Like, you know, you phone the taxi man comes, he doesn't think that someone that's about to have a baby is getting in his taxi. He probably just wasn't prepared, like, whoa, okay. So yeah, got to the Serenity Suite, City Hospital, and basically there was no time. I needed to push, I needed to get inside. There was no time to pay the taxi man even. Like, my mum literally had to just be like, okay, we'll give you a call when we leave the hospital later. Like, we paid the taxi man later that evening when I brought Vienna home. There was no time. It was time for me to go in there. I need to push, I need to get in there. Time for me to go. But I wasn't like screaming or anything, or I was still kind of talking through my contractions as well. So I'm walking slow and people are looking at me like, oh, here's a woman in labour. I got to Serenity Suite, because when you first walk in, like, you walk in, you go through some corridors, and then, yeah, Serenity Suite. So we're buzzed to go in, give her the book. I'm like talking, I'm saying like I feel like I need to push, they're moving slow, and this is the problem with everyone's birth story. Every time I hear someone's birth story, the nurses, midwives, whatever, they're not bothered. They don't really think that you're there. They don't think that you're ready to push. I feel like they were looking at me like, oh, she's talking, she's walking, she's fine, she's not giving birth anytime soon. We'll just take your book and walk around slow and get your room prepared. Annoying. They didn't take that long to get me into a room, but I'm just saying, like, they weren't rushing, you know, for someone that said they need to push, they weren't rushing. So they took the book, within like probably like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, they got me in the room. Got in the room, stripped your clothes, and then I was like squatting down, like knees on the floor. Wasn't down, but like my knees were on the floor, so I was like that, if that makes sense. That's when they checked how dilated I was. I was 9 centimetres. 9. That means when I probably got out of the bath, I was probably 9 or 8. I was 9 in the taxi because I only just got out of the taxi 2 minutes ago when you're telling me I'm 9 centimetres. Therefore, I could have if I decided to strip in that taxi, yeah, and push, the baby was coming. And by the way, I haven't missed that my waters broke or whatever. My waters didn't break, guys. I had to break them myself, so I'll get to that. But yeah, if I lived any further as well from the hospital, that's it. I was giving birth in the taxi, because when she said I was 9 centimetres, there was no time for no water birth that I wanted. There was no time for anything. It's time to push. That's it, girl. Like, she's coming. It's time to push. In the rooms in Serenity Suite, they're really nice. They had like a mattress on the floor. They had like a little cot in the room, and they had like a rocking chair, I believe. And they had a bath thing for the water birth, but which I didn't get to have. I did want a water birth, but obviously, as I said, no time. Like, it's time to push. That's it. I could have had gas and air, but I didn't have gas and air. So listen, this is what I'm gonna need you to do. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to just give me my props. Give me my props. Give me my props. Everyone keeps telling me, oh, you had an easy birth. Just give me my props in it. Stop telling me it was easy and give me my props and tell me that I'm a strong woman, because I gave birth, yeah. No paracetamol, yeah. No gas and air. No painkiller. Nothing. No water birth, yeah. Half a piece of toast and water. That's what I gave birth off. Half a piece of toast and water and whatever I had the night before, yeah. Alright, cool. So give me my props in it. Give me my props. So I was leaning on the mattress on the floor. Jane had come by this point. Did I say that? Jane, before we got in the taxi, Jane actually got here, but he had to change out of his work clothes, so we just got in the taxi and left, and then he come later on with my bag and stuff. We didn't have time to like get everything in my bag and go. My bag was like packed, but not packed. He kind of entered like 2-3 minutes after us anyway. So yeah, time to push. So I was leaning on the mattress. I was on my knees leaning on the mattress. We tried a different couple positions. That was the best position because I had to break my waters. Obviously my waters hadn't broke, so every time the contraction was coming, I was pushing. The sac was coming and her head was coming. So this is the sac. Her head was coming. This is what they were saying to me. Her head's coming and pushing towards the sac, but then when the contraction goes, like, you know, that's it. The sac's going back in you, but you need to push it a little bit more so we can break the waters and then she can come, kind of thing. So I had to break my own waters, which was just like horrible. Like, I'm pushing out a sac. I'm pushing out a friggin' sac. No one should have to do that. I'm pushing out a sac with no painkiller and no gas and air. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, why can I feel tearing? I can feel it. Like, I can feel that this is too big to be coming out of where it's coming out, and I can feel like I'm ripping open. That's how I feel. Yeah. So anyway, I want to say that we got to the hospital about 9:30, maybe just before 9:30 or just after 9:30. I'm pushing like that for a bit, and then I go, so I'm forward, so I'm leaning back on the mattress, like I'm kind of on the floor, so I'm like this, and then I'm pushing that way, and yeah, that's not working. So I was pushing to get the water sac broken for a good, I want to say 45 minutes or around that timing. Went back to the other way where I was leaning forward now, like squatting and pushing, and then eventually after a couple of different positions, the water sac broke, and that was in the position squatting like that, so like this basically with the mattress on the floor. When they told me to go on my front, I was really like, I really didn't want to do it, because when I went to the classes, my midwife was saying like, women are not supposed to give birth lying down like flat, do you know what I mean, because of the pelvic bone goes up like this, so the head is going like this and then it has to go up. Obviously gravity is not going to work in your favour lying that way, so the head has to push up, which, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So I really didn't want to go in that position. Bearing in mind, I'm not having a water birth, I haven't had any painkillers, like I'm not trying to tear it open because I want to give birth in this unnatural position. I really didn't want to, but she was just like, we'll try 3 different positions, like we just want to get the sac broken, blah blah blah. But yeah, ended up breaking the sac in like the squatting position on my knees. So that's how I gave birth as well. So I want to say that it took me, like, as I said, 45 minutes to 50 minutes for the waters to break, sorry. So that feeling, I hated it. It's like warm water and it was like trickling down for I felt like it was going on for ages. Like, is that still the water? But yeah, I didn't cry either, like pushing or anything. I probably screamed. No, not even scream, because I'm not a screamer. I probably was like, I take a lot in, and I have a very strong mind, I feel like. So when my midwife was telling me, you know, breathing exercises and don't scream and don't do all these things because you're wasting your energy on the wrong thing, you just need to push, That's what I was thinking in my head. So I wasn't even like, I was trying to not to grab the sheets as well when I was pushing and stuff, but I was just like, I need to use my energy on pushing this baby out so it can be over. So I'm not about to waste my energy on crying and all them things there. Like, it's just long. About 15 minutes after my waters broke, she came. So from the time that I was in the hospital to the time she came, I want to say it was just over an hour, something like that, hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So she came at 10:44. So yeah, after my waters broke, she came 15 minutes after. It's such a relieving feeling, because I swear to God, you feel like you're not getting anywhere, because obviously every time you push, it's like, well, for me, every time I pushed, her head was coming out and then it was going back in. Obviously you can feel it coming out and then going back in, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, because why are you going back in? I'm pushing, like, you need to come out, not in. So it was just like, where are you going? Like, it's time to come out now. There was like, her head's out now. You can feel that bit where her head comes out, because I thought she was all out, but it was just her head that came out. Her body was still inside. So her head's out now. Do you want to feel her head? No, I'm sorry, I don't want to feel her head. I don't want to look. I don't want to peek. So I put the mirror there. Do you want to see? No, I don't want to see. I just want her out, please. You know, this hurts. I don't want to be looking. I just want to get her out, please. Giving birth is just crazy. Yeah, it's actually absolutely mad. And then, you know, when, like, how she's still obviously connected by the umbilical cord, and I feel like I can feel that tugging as well, like when they're handling her and putting her in the blanket and like moving her around and like putting her on you. No, they didn't put her in a blanket straight away, they put her on me. I had a vest top on and they put her like in my vest top. It was like a loose vest top, so they put her in. And like, what I can feel like the cord like moving her, like as they're moving the baby, I can feel like the cord, like it doesn't hurt, but it's just uncomfortable, like something's like tugging from inside of me and it's just like moving. And I'm like, is the umbilical cord short? Like, is it too short? I can feel it. Like, I was just so paranoid of like stitches, the umbilical cord being tugged from inside of me. I actually wasn't scared to give birth. All this time building up to the time that she was born, I was scared about tearing. I don't want to tear, and the reason that I was scared about tearing is because I didn't want stitches, because every story I've heard about stitches is I could feel it, like I swear I could feel it, even though obviously they numb you. It's like everyone's saying they can feel the needle going in and out, they can feel the needle going in and out. It doesn't hurt, I just can feel it. Like, what do you mean? I don't want to feel a needle going in and out. I don't want to feel that. As soon as she come out, I kind of put her on me straight away, and I was still kind of in this position now. I was like, I can't describe it, but I was on my knees, but I was like resting on my thighs were resting on my lower legs. So I was like propped down, and she was there, and then eventually like I turned over. I just felt like I didn't want to move. That's how I felt, like I was slowly moving, like don't want to move. And then I took a shower, and let me tell you, that was the weirdest shower I've ever taken, because one, I don't even like the thought of taking a shower in that type of facility. Like, it's not facility, it's not nasty, but it's just me, like, you know, I don't want to. So I had my little flip-flops. So guys, make sure you pack like some disposable flip-flops so you don't have to have your barefoot on their floor and whatnot, where everyone's blood has run down. Anyway, that's when your belly's just like, obviously she's just come out and it's just this loose skin just hanging. It was so weird. Had her at 10:44 and we was there till 7 in the evening or something like that. And that's because we opted to stay, because they were saying that there was this, I can't remember what the test is that they do, but some sort of test, and I was like, you can wait and do it later, or you can have it done tomorrow. So we was just like, we'll wait. She was like, you'll have to wait till like after 4. So she must have said that to me about 1-2 p.m. So really and truly, I could have took my child home like straight away. You know, there was no way. It's just like, get out, you can go, you've had your baby, like, go. And I was so active as well, guys, so active. I don't know if this had an effect on her coming, because she was 3 days early, so she was due on Saturday but she came on Wednesday. I don't know if this had an effect or not, but I was definitely active. I wanted her out and I was active. I was going up and down the stairs on the side, Apparently that's the thing. So like a crab, jogging up and down the stairs, I was squatting, I was going for walks every day. Like I was doing everything that they said online to do, except for eating spicy foods and stuff like that, because my midwife was like, just don't bother. And the reason that I listened to my midwife so hard, because she was an old school Caribbean woman, so it's just that I already had the respect for her, and already had, like, you know what I mean. So when she told me like, don't try that shoppiness, I was just like, you know what, I'm not. Plus I don't even like Indian food. That was my labour story and how I nearly had my baby in a taxi. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to me, guys. I really want to hit 500, like, just subscribe to me. And yeah, more videos soon come. Bye.
Man love you for life. Hope say love me too, yeah. Oh, loving you daily and treating you right. Good times and bad times, and me and you right through.